We did most of our touring with Evan Evans Tours. They picked us up at the hotel and then took us out to the Victoria coach station, where we waited to board the correct coach for the day. We headed out in a sort of southwest of London direction for about 2 hours or so to get to Stonehenge. Red poppy flowers grow everywhere out here, not like the plastic ones we get at home. Turns out it's not the best time to come, because in a few days it's going to be the summer solstice, so they are going to close earlier to prepare for the onslaught of the long-haired hippies and the far-out people to come dance around the magical rocks in the nude or whatever it is they do. This meant that normal people who spent thousands of hard-earned dollars to come and stare at the magical rocks all in a circle, like us, had less time to do it, so it was going to be busy. By the time we queued up for the bus to take us out there and queued to come back, we only had about 15 minutes to soak up the magic of the rocks. It was real simple. If you're late back, see you later, and some people found out. So do you reckon these are the keeper of the rocks? Being a coach driver, I know what it's like to have to stand around and wait for people, so I was going to make sure that I wasn't going to be the last. Another 2 hours on the road now gets us to Windsor Castle. Remember the phone boxes in episode 2? Well, look who we found using one out here. Maybe she lost the keys to the door and was ringing to get entry. The castle's been around for over 900 years, and the Queen still lives here from time to time. You can sort of get the feeling of what it was like when the castle was under attack and everybody running around here. But how they could see who to shoot at from here is a mystery. It's easy to know if she's here at the moment. If the flag has any gold colour in it, then that means she's in the building. There's plenty of room for the royal corgis to go running in the garden. While you can go into many of the buildings and see everything there is, there are strict rules about filming inside. So again, here are some photos somebody else didn't take. The place is so big you can't help but wonder if at one time the whole town was inside the walls. And all watched by some pretty serious eyes. We've moved on to Oxford now, sort of north-east of London by a few hours, and we are going to take a walking tour around some of the old university buildings and with a couple of Harry Potter surprises thrown in. If anyone watches Lewis on TV, that's filmed around this area too. This is part of Oxford, and the area we are walking around in is here. There are a lot of universities here, and you've probably heard of Oxford, but Oxford University isn't one university. It's actually a whole lot of smaller individual universities that come together under the one hat of Oxford Uni. This is just a look inside one of the smaller unis. This is the Bodleian Library, one of the first libraries here. They started building the first section of this building around 1613, and it's a very impressive construction. We've moved into Radcliffe Square. No, nothing to do with Harry Potter, that's still coming. This round building, which was built in 1737, was an addition to the nearby library. This is the other side of the Bodleian Library, but it might look familiar to the Harry Potter nuts out there. It was used as the front of the hospital. During early construction times, when these buildings were built, stonemasons were allowed to put their initials into their work. Nobody knows who this is, but it's believed it was the inspiration for the scar on Harry Potter's head. The Sheldonian Theatre, built by Christopher Wren, was named after the Archbishop of Canterbury at the time, who also funded most of the construction. Yeah, I know, Sheldon from Big Bang, I thought that too. It's now mostly used for university ceremonies. The statue heads around the outside of the theatre are of Greek gods and are nicknamed the border gods, or the philosophers. However, from time to time the students seem to have the need to paint the beards blue or black, some reference to pirates, I think. I wonder if they're making a new movie, The Son of Noah. It's a nice day today, and there's nothing to do. I know, let's carry a boat down the street. Oxford is really full of history, nostalgia and architecture. Looking around at how old everything is and how things were constructed without modern machinery of today really gives you that feeling of wow. As we head out of town back to London, we reflect back on what the day has brought us. We've only had a chance of a taste of these areas, but enough so we can at least say we've been there and we've seen it. In our next episode, we're going to catch the tube and then go see some mates out at Madame Tussauds.